Breaking news in college basketball where the Duke Blue Devils are the new #1 team in America. It's the first time that Duke has been #1 in the AP Top 25 poll since November of 2021 in Coach K's final season in Durham. The Blue Devils are also ranked #1 in the new net rankings. They take over for Auburn, who had been ranked #1 for the previous 8 weeks before suffering back-to-back losses to Texas A&M and Alabama. The Tigers slipped to #3 behind second-ranked Houston, while Florida and Alabama round out the top 5 as you take a look at the top 10 teams in college basketball's AP Top 25 poll. For more on this, let's go ahead and welcome in our own Matt Norlander for more. Matt, it's so great to see you. Let's start with your initial reaction to the latest poll. All right, it looks like
that's not always the case, but Duke being 1, Houston 2, Auburn 3, Florida 4. That's the AP rankings as of Monday. That's not what they look like in terms of overall seed line. Auburn's still the projected #1 overall seed. Duke right behind him, then Houston, and then Florida. Keep an eye moving forward here on the ACC tournament and the SEC tournament. It's my opinion, Jordan, that Auburn would need to lose its first SEC tournament game, and that opponent is to be determined. It could likely be ultimately Ole Miss or Arkansas in the quarterfinals. Auburn would need to lose that game, and I think Duke would need to win the ACC tournament, or Florida would need to win the SEC tournament, I think, in order to knock Auburn off the #1 overall seed perch. But we got some good drama heading into the final week. Ultimately, when it comes to the question of the #1 overall seed, I don't think it means too much in this regard. Like, those teams are going to go to the regions that they should go to, and if you're going to be the 1 seed, you're going to wind up playing an 8 or 9 after you theoretically get past the 16 and so on and so forth. So it's good drama, but ultimately, like, for your Auburns and Dukes and Houstons, and they've really been separated to where they need to be going from a region perspective as we brace for Selection Sunday in 6 days.
Well, we love the drama. We love when the plot thickens. Let's go ahead and take a full look at the top 25. Which teams, as we get set to start conference tournament play, which teams should fans really pay attention to?
Okay, in this top 10, I'm going to give you Clemson. The Tigers have been playing really well. They've actually already met, you see that 26-5 record? That is tied for the best ever in Clemson history. So Clemson needs one more win and it will have its winningest season in school history. Brad Brownell's done a really good job. It's not that they've been under the radar. They haven't. They beat Duke, but keep an eye on them. I'd say outside of the top 10, you know, Maryland checks in at #11. I think Maryland's a team that can make some noise in the Big Ten tournament. They've got the Crab 5. That's a fantastic starting 5 that they've got going there. I think the Terrapins have Final Four potential. It will depend on draw overall. And then I also like BYU, which is 17th in this week's AP Top 25. One of the hottest teams in the country. If the bracket breaks the right way, I believe BYU would face Houston in the Big 12 tournament and might be able to give the Cougars a little bit of a run there. So there are some hot teams heading into conference tournament season. Keep in mind for our viewers, there is no there's no history or pattern that indicates that if you win the conference tournament, you're guaranteed to go on and win 2 or 3 games in the NCAA tournament. It doesn't work that way, except with one thing. I'm going to leave you with this. There has never been, ever, there has never been a national champion that lost its first game of its conference tournament. So you got to at least get one in the little brackets before you play in the big one. So keep an eye on that for any of the teams that are highly seeded heading into the week.
All right, awesome stuff as always from our own Matt Norlander as we break down the latest AP Top 25 poll. As the Duke Blue Devils are the new #1 team in America. You can get more college basketball talk on the Ion College Basketball Podcast. All you got to do is scan that QR code on your screen and watch and listen wherever you get your podcasts.